essentially about priority. What do you do when you have a limited set of resources and you must choose in the short term to spend them on defense, so on military production, that's the guns part, or on civilian production, that's butter. Now, a lot of people have been arguing that what we face now is this choice between saving lives and restarting the economy. What we're really dealing with here is whether we can freeze the economy for as long as is needed to control the virus, or sacrifice enormous amounts of lives to continue the circulation. And that's why I called it ventilation or butter, because whether we keep the economy on a sort of life support or want to continue production and circulation at all costs.
You said that the war itself will not necessarily give us what we want politically for the future, but we can see that it creates a common morality. But for how long?
If we look at the kind of moral economy that came out of that conflict, the idea that when people have to mobilize to confront a common threat, they have to put their lives on the line fighting, or they have to put their labor, forego wage increases, forego freedoms that they have in peacetime, then they will also demand a lot back for it when that situation ends. World War II created a kind of moral order that I think persisted for decades in the United States when it came to burden sharing, redistribution, what sort of public services are deemed normal and general and shared. The end of that order didn't come until the late 70s and early 1980s. It persisted for 4 decades after the war. So I think that the changes can be quite long-lasting.
But, I mean, you're looking at our government now, right? At President Trump and this Congress. You think that this crisis and this use of wartime economic policies can ignite a similar sense of responsibility from them?
I think it's important to look beyond Trump in this regard. Having the right institutions and policies also matters, and I still think that there is a lot that we can do that will be in place for the next president. I find it very difficult to predict what the ultimate political upshot of this crisis will be for politics, but it's certain that the challenge of climate change is exactly the kind of long-run problem for which we need state capacity. State capacity that this crisis has exposed is missing in the United States. The point of building a strong healthcare and planning and administrative state is that you have a well-functioning government, no matter who's in power.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me on, Brooke.
Nicholas Mulder is an economic historian at Cornell University. His article in Foreign Policy is called "The Coronavirus War Economy Will Change the World."
One other thing worth saying is just there's this expression that we're all Keynesians in a foxhole. So the ideas of John Maynard Keynes, which was basically the idea underneath a lot of war economics and the welfare state. Because we all, even people who normally don't like government and state action, in an emergency situation, will intervene in order to save themselves using the power of government and the state.
George Orwell once said, "Never use a metaphor, simile, or other figure of speech which you are used to seeing in print." He said worn-out metaphors have lost all evocative power and are merely used because they save people the trouble of inventing phrases for themselves. We asked listeners which coronavirus metaphors were dominating where they happen to be.